The Girls Club, 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 the Girls Club. It's my club and I'm a girl, yeah.
Hello, happy holidays, and welcome back to the Girls Club. I'm your president, Emily, and today we are doing something a little different here for our club meeting, and we are doing a Christmas cookie bake-along. Yes, today we will be making my favorite cookie recipe I have ever made of all time. I've hyped this recipe up so much, so I hope it's as good as I remember it to be last year. Anyways, we are making the cinnamon oatmeal cookies, which they sound like grandma boring cookies. I promise you they're not. So you're just going to have to trust me and have a little faith, okay? So the recipe for these cookies is in the description of this video, or if you're listening to audio, it's also there. I am going to be making a double batch of these, so I am going to be doing twice as much as all of this. This recipe makes like 12 giant cookies or like 24 normal cookies. I tend to make them kind of like in between, so with one normal serving, I will make like about 18. So that's why I'm doubling it, because 18 cookies, babes, is not enough. Okay, so to go along with this festive podcast club meeting, fucking shit. Of course, I fucked it up already. I wanted to keep things in line with the Christmas spirit and the Christmas fun. So I found this article called 52 Interesting Christmas Facts for Festive Trivia Night. And I figured every couple of minutes, I am going to set a timer to go off and read you one of these facts. That way it sticks with the Christmas theme. Also, how do you like my setup? I made this little situation, and these are all my little handmade ornaments I was talking about making. So what do you think? Do you like them? The lighting in here in real life looks so much better than it does on camera, so I'm kind of disappointed in that, but I feel like you guys get the vibe. Let's get baking. Another quick note, this recipe calls for toffee in the cookies. However, I come from a long lineage of nut allergic people. So for this recipe, you can totally use like pre-made toffee or whatever. However, I found it very difficult to find toffee that wasn't processed in a facility that used peanuts or tree nuts or whatever. So I actually make my own. I'll also link the recipe to that in the description as well. I didn't film that because it's not a difficult thing at all, but if you like move your attention for 3 seconds, you can fuck it up so easily. So I've already pre-made that, and it's cooling right here. So then when it gets down to it, I'll just crush it up to create the bits. But it's literally 3 ingredients. It's butter, brown sugar, and salt. So it's super easy. So yeah, if you have anybody who's like allergic to nuts or whatever, super easy to do. You just have to pay attention, or you can burn it very easily because you're cooking with sugar. So, okay, let's start with a Christmas fact. Fact number 1, the first artificial Christmas tree was made from dyed goose feathers. Wow, that is so crazy. I hate geese. I'm not a big fan of birds. Don't know why, never liked them, never have. But I think I do know why actually, and I think it was because when I was little, I was at a park and you were not encouraged to feed the geese, obviously. I'm talking about Canadian geese as well. The ones with like the gray bodies with the black heads and the like black and white and gray feathers. So those, and they are big as fuck. If you've ever been around, they're huge. So I was at this park and all these kids were like throwing bread or whatever. So the geese are like Pavlovian trained to like approach children because they think, I don't know, kids are like elvish creatures who carry bread in their pockets or some shit. So I pull up at the park and I just get like fucking bombarded with like 30 Canadian geese all like chasing me down, so scared, running like crazy. Yeah, I think that is the start of my fear of birds. So #birds. Okay, let's get started for real this time. Okay, the first thing that you are going to do is you are going to add butter, sugar, and brown sugar to a bowl using a stand or hand mixer. Mix the butter and the sugar for like 4 to 5 minutes until it's light and fluffy. So let's do this. I will say I'm very like, let's just say I've been burned so many times baking. Baking was like one of my favorite hobbies when I was a child. And I was obsessed with Ace of Cakes, Cake Boss, whatever. I went through a phase of trying to make like hyper realistic cakes. I was obsessed with cupcakes. Like, you know, you probably had a very similar vibe as well. Basically, all that being said, I've failed a fuck ton baking because I've baked for a lot of years. So what that has instilled in me is a very scientific approach because baking is a science. I weigh everything. So if you want the conversion to grams, 1 cup of sugar is 200 grams and then half cup of brown sugar, 100 grams, obviously, because it's half the weight. So I'm gonna go off of, because the main reason for all of this is like, it's really easy to add too much because in measuring cups, it's like, it's very non-specific and every measuring cup is like, you know, it's like, do you fill it all the way to the top? How close do you get it? It's just hard. So I just say fuck that and I just weigh everything. So yeah, I just have like a normal food scale and that's what I use. So since I'm doubling the recipe, we're gonna go with 400 grams of white sugar. I know I've talked about this a few times in the club meetings, but my like dream career when I was a child was to be a TV chef. So this is very cool for me right now. I feel like I'm like fulfilling like a childhood fantasy of mine by doing this. Okay, and so for the brown sugar, we need half as much. So I'm going in with 200 grams, which will be 1 cup, but if you're only doing the normal recipe, you only need 100 grams. So with the food scale, you can just balance it out to 0. So since I already added that, I'm balancing it out to 0 again. That way I don't have to do the mental math, you know what I'm saying? So 200 grams of brown sugar, and brown sugar weighs a lot more. So you get there a lot quicker than you think. Oh. All right. And then we also need 1 cup of butter at room temperature. And since I'm doubling it, obviously I'm doing 2 cups. Butter, I don't care to weigh because it's already pre-portioned. So this just says butter. You can use salted or unsalted. It really doesn't matter. I tend to like my baked goods more on the salty end because I feel like it brings out the flavors a lot better. Like as I've gotten older, the more I've appreciated salt in desserts. So also these cookies have a lot of sweet stuff in it with the white chocolate chips and the graham crackers. So I feel like the more salt to balance that out, the better. So I'm using salted butter, but you can totally use unsalted. So 1 cup, if you're doing half, I need 2 cups. And 1 stick of butter is a half cup. So this is 2 cups butter. 1. Also, if you don't have like a hand or a stand mixer, like you can totally just do this by hand. I would just encourage you to use like some sort of like wooden spoon or something, because if you use a whisk, your whisk is gonna get fucked up. This is way too thick to use a whisk for, since your butter is not melted, it's just softened. Also, what I do anytime I bake is like, if I'm baking in the morning, I will leave out my butter overnight, especially in the winter because it's like so cold. It takes forever to get to room temperature. But if you're baking in the afternoon, yeah, just take it out as soon as you wake up and just leave it out all day and it will be room temperature. And if you forget, there's a lot of tips and tricks, but I like to put my oven on warm and then turn it off and leave the door open and then just put the butter on a plate in there. Or you can microwave like a cup of hot water until it gets like almost boiling, take it out, and then put the butter in the microwave like on a plate turned off, and the steam from the water can kind of like slowly, cohesively soften it without like melting it. So those are just some tips, but y'all are adults, y'all know things. Okay, so now we're going to beat this until it is fluffy. So it says 4 to 5 minutes. And also my ADHD is so terrible that I print out all of my recipes when I cook if I'm using a recipe, especially with baking, because I will forget stuff, I will double the ingredient on accident or whatever. So yeah, that is what I'm looking at. I print it out and I physically will mark it off. I do the same thing when I go to the grocery store. I make a physical list and I mark it off. Similar to the old Saint Nick, and I make a list and I check that shit twice, because if not, I will find out that I'm a dumbass and forgot shit. So let's get to going. 4 to 5 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Okay, it's been going for like probably 3 minutes. I'm just gonna scrape the sides and push it down because I wanna make sure it's all very much incorporated. Because once you add your flour, you really do not want to over like mix, because the moment you add flour, your gluten will start to develop, and so you want to make sure that you're not over mixing. But at this phase, there is no gluten in here, it's just the butter and the sugar, so you can really kind of go ham. So I want to make sure this is completely incorporated, because I don't want any lumps of butter at all, because that is going to create like pockets of fat in your cookie, and like it's just not going to be very like that good like chewy cohesive bite. So push it all down. 2 more minutes. Let's get it. Okay, cool. That is light and fluffy and looks amazing. And next thing I'm going to do is tell you a Christmas fact and drink a Christmas Coke Zero. Do you like my outfit? This is my favorite apron ever. I don't remember the brand. It has this and sign on it. I don't know. I don't remember the brand, but I got it for Christmas last year because I asked for an apron, but it has like this cross back. So it's like a smock basically. So there's no tension on your shoulders and shit. But every time I cook, I'm always in an apron because I will get shit on me. It's just gonna happen. Also, this apron's amazing because it has 2 big pockets and it has this little loop for a towel. But yeah, I've decided to go with like a Christmassy outfit, but then my apron kind of covers all of it. So you can't even see it. All right, let's do a Christmas fact. Oh no. Of course that happened. No need to worry. That's the best part about diet soda, is it's not sticky because there's no sugar. So you can kind of just drip it all over the place and it doesn't matter. Christmas fact number 2 from Good Housekeeping's article of 52 interesting Christmas facts for a festive trivia night. So now you guys will be awesome at your Christmas trivia. More than 3 billion Christmas cards are sent each year in the United States. I feel like that was such a thing when I was younger, and maybe it's just because I was living with my parents and like other people with kids were sending them. But like, I feel like nobody does Christmas cards anymore. Do you guys do Christmas cards? I think they're cute. My family never did them. But I also like grew up in a family of people who like did not like having their picture taken. So I think that's why. Next thing is to this butter sugar concoction. I'm gonna push it down again. We are going to add our eggs and vanilla, I think. And you don't have to let your eggs sit out at room temperature, but I do that as well, just to not introduce anything cold into this, because I don't want the butter to like curdle at all because it isn't cold. So I leave my eggs out at the same time I leave my butter out, but again, it's just a thing that I've learned over all of the years of failing when I'm baking shit. So the recipe calls for 2 eggs. I'm doubling it, so I'm doing 4, and mine are room temperature. do whatever you want. Also, I'm cracking these in a separate bowl because I found whenever I leave my eggs out at room temperature, the shell is like more fragile. So I feel like it will get in, there's like a higher probability of getting shell in it. So I'm just doing this to avoid having to like fish it out of that. So, and surprisingly, I got no shell, but it's probably because I took the precaution. Also, when I cook and bake, I'm like a chronic hand washer. So if I wash my hands a million times, that's why. It's like I get overstimulated feeling shit on my hands. Like it really just grosses me out. So that is why. If I go to the sink a billion times. How many drinks can I have out at once? Let's see. Okay, let me cross the eggs out. You don't have to add these like one at a time or whatever, since it's not like, cookies are kind of different than cake. Like in a cake, I would probably do like one at a time, but since we're doing cookies, I'm just gonna throw all these eggs at once. Wow, how is that ASMR? Okay, and then for the vanilla, you can use vanilla extract, whatever you want. I'm gonna use vanilla paste just because I like the flavor better, but it's up to you. I get vanilla paste from just my normal grocery store. They have it at like Walmart or Kroger or wherever you shop. Okay, so a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm doubling it too, but I'm doing paste so it's a bit more potent. So I probably don't need 2 whole teaspoons. Let's do that in a half, I guess. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mix that together while I wash this and put it in the dishwasher because I like to clean as I cook. That's just how my dad, the mindset my dad instilled in me, because it saves you at the end where you're not cleaning up this giant mess. So I'm encouraging you to do the same as well, because I know it's a pain in the ass, but trust me, you can't do anything anyways while this is mixing, so you might as well. So let's clean up. All right, I'm gonna scrape down the sides and then do it one more time. Just to make sure everything is incorporated good, and we're setting ourselves up for success when we add the flour and all of the other dry ingredients. Okay, this is looking really good. It seems to be all combined. So we are at a good place. Also, I am kind of scared because since I'm doubling the recipe, this mixer is about to be full to the fucking brim because it's just a standard bowl size, and I'm like, hopefully there's enough room. Yep, I saw that coming. We crossed out vanilla. Now we're moving on to flour. So let's get a separate bowl for this. Put it on our scale and clear it out to 0. So for the flour, it is 2 cups. And if you're gonna measure anything with a scale, do your flour. Because I promise you, you are adding more flour than you should to every baked recipe you're doing if you're just using the cups, because it's so easy to put too much in. Even if you spoon it into the cup, it's still really easy to do that. So we're doing 2 cups. However, I'm doubling, so I'm doing 4, which means I need 260 grams times 2. So 6201, 520 grams. And this is just all-purpose flour, by the way. Oh, see, I went 10 grams over in like 12 seconds. 12 seconds. Hello? Like half a second, I meant to say. 518, Gotta add 2 grams back. There we go. Okay, 2 cups of flour. Now we need 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm doubling it, I'm doing 2. I keep saying all this out loud because if I don't, I am gonna forget that I'm doubling it. And then I'm gonna the ratio is gonna be so fucked up. 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So I think this is like the secret star, I think, of this recipe, because cornstarch is like, I think it helps these cookies like bind together and be super chewy, which is like, oh, it makes these cookies so good. I think because there's so many toppings in it, this does a lot of the heavy lifting to like keep all of the like mix-ins from just like sinking to the bottom of the cookie. At least that's what I'm assuming. I'm not a scientist, so I have no idea. But if I were a betting woman, that's what I would think. Okay, Christmas fact. I keep forgetting that's part of this whole thing. The largest floating Christmas tree is in Brazil.
Huh?
The largest floating Christmas tree. What the fuck does that mean? If you ever find yourself in Rio de Janeiro for the holidays, then you'll likely come across the largest floating Christmas tree in the world. What? What does it mean floating? Like in the water or in the air? The photo doesn't show the bottom or the top, so I don't know if it's floating in the air, floating in the water, like what? Okay, awesome fact. Okay, we got our cornstarch. Now we need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, or 1 if you're not doubling the recipe. Awesome. Also, it's really easy not to measure, to not measure cinnamon, but I would strongly encourage you to, because it is going to dry your shit out if you put too much in. It like sucks the water out, and the water is in the butter. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. Cinnamon, done. Now we need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, which means I need 1 teaspoon of each. Baking soda causes your cookie to go out, and baking powder causes your cookie to rise. Just a fun fact for you there. I feel like for Christmas, like at least, hear those damn motorcycles? It's so fucking loud. For Christmas, at least in my family and just like the holidays in general, like cooking is such a huge part of it. It's so fun for me to do like cooking and baking, and like, I don't know, I just feel like my family shows love through food is like the most predominant way that like, you know, love is shown. Is like, we're very much a like acts of service family in that sense, where it's like, comfort comes from like doing things for others, and like cooking for me has always been that. Like I love cooking for my friends. I love baking and like bringing baked goods to like events and stuff and sharing them with people, because I don't know, it's just like one of those things where it's like a lot of people didn't grow up in a like house where either food was really accessible or like the knowledge of cooking was like shared with them. Like a lot of people's parents like either didn't ever cook for them, or if they did, like just cooked but didn't involve them in the process. And like, I don't know, I was very fortunate in the fact that like my parents were very like, hey, come in here and like help out and like let me show you how to do that, and like very much like instilled this love for cooking in me and my brothers. As an adult, I very much realized that like that is not common, and a lot of my friends that just did not grow up doing that. And so as adults, they've had to kind of like learn everything on their own. So this was salt. I just added 1 teaspoon of salt because I'm doubling it, but if you're not doubling it, 1/2 teaspoon. So the reason you don't want to add the oats yet, or add anything that's heavy, like the oats, the chocolate chips, or the toffee bits, is because if you add them with all of this dry ingredients, they are not going to have anything to like cling to. And so when you put them on your like baking sheet to bake the cookies, all the toppings are going to be at the bottom. Not the toppings, all like the mix-ins are going to be like at the bottom of the cookies. And like, A, they're gonna look ugly because you're not gonna see any of that. And B, it's just like strange baking process. So yeah, this is kind of like you're building the foundation. Then when these get added in the heavier pieces, they're able to just kind of like sit inside of the cookie rather than at the bottom. So now we're going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. And what we're going to do is, I'll probably add half at a time, but when I mix it together, I just want to barely incorporate it because we don't want to overmix this and like develop gluten and make our cookie really dense. So yeah, I'm gonna do half at a time just because I'm afraid it's gonna splash out over the side if I don't while I'm mixing it, because my bowl is not that big, but definitely not gonna overmix. I'm just gonna mix it to get it incorporated, and then I'll add the other half. Okay, that's it. And then I'm going to knock down the sides. Also, I hope this doesn't feel like I'm talking to you guys like you're incompetent. I do not want it to come off that way. I'm just talking as if I'm like teaching, I guess. So if you know what you're doing, you don't have to follow along at this slow of a pace. I'm just kind of doing it as if this is your first time baking. But I'm sure there's a lot of like people who are watching this who have baked a bajillion times before and don't need all these like quote fun facts. But I don't know, I'm just really channeling my inner like celebrity chef TV personality and trying to give you guys some cool tips and tricks. Oh my god. Breaks, shatters bowl, glass goes everywhere, glass cookies. You guys remember that like old YouTube creator? God, what is their name? I can't remember their name, but they did the like shoes. Oh my god, shoes. And I think they also did like the muffins sketch where they're like blueberry muffin, strawberry muffin, blood muffin, and it's just like a muffin with like glass in it. So when you bite it, there's like blood.
It's a glass muffin.
Over your mouth.
Ow.
OG YouTube. All right, let's mix it. Okay, that's good. If it's still powdery in there, that's okay because we're not done mixing. We just want to get it all incorporated. The biggest like uh-oh that you can do is like overmix it. So it's better to undermix it because we still have to add the other toppings and we'll mix it again after that. But I'm just knocking the sides down one last time before I add that other stuff in. Also, I didn't like pre-measure prep any of the stuff because I wanted this to be a true bake along because I feel like that's more fun. So, next thing, we are adding oats, toffee, white chocolate, graham cracker. So, let's go back to our bowl because this will help me remember how many scoops I've put in. If I just scoop it into that, I'm going to forget. So, we need 3 cups. Let's just double check. 3 cups, or 1.5 if you're doing the normal recipe. 1, 2, not gonna fill this one up all the way because I kind of went over on that last one. 3. Okay. And we need 3 cups of that. Let's check that off our list. Now we need a 1/2 cup of the toffee bits. So since I made mine from scratch, I need to bitify this toffee. Isn't this the cutest cup ever? My little Christmas cup. So adorable. Very easy way to do this. We are just going to take our toffee that is now fully hard, put it in a plastic bag. I'm gonna break it up a bit first so it will fit. Also, what's fun about making it from scratch is like chances are you have all the stuff that you'll need for it, because if you're just buying the ingredients for these cookies, like you're already gonna have brown sugar and an additional stick of butter if you're not doubling the batch. So you don't have to buy the toffee as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like cheaper. Well, it's for sure cheaper this way. Okay, we have this. What we're going to do now is Because like Michael Jackson said, we're gonna beat that. We're gonna beat it, just beat it. Okay, if you have like a food mallet, I would use that. I don't, so I'm just gonna use the bottom of this pan. And you want to not do this directly on your cooking surface if it's like some sort of granite marble situation. So what I'm gonna do is put a towel down first, like a tea towel, put a cutting board over it to absorb some of the beating. And just beat your frustrations out on that shit. Okay, that shit is beat the fuck up. With the bits, you can kind of have them varying sizes. If you buy pre-made toffee bits or whatever, they're gonna be fairly small, which is another reason why I like to make this homemade, because you can put bigger pieces in it, which just to me has a better bite. So it's super crunchy, but when it cooks, it's going to bake out, and then when you eat the cookie itself, some will be a bit crispier, but some are going to be like very like gooey, chewy, caramel-esque. So delish. Also with the toffee, you add salt to it, but I also add like a coarse sea salt on top of it as well, just because like I said, I like things really salty. So you don't have to do that either. I'm just saying, y'all, I'm just saying. So we have our toffee. We need a 1/2 cup of toffee, which means we need 1 cup. This recipe makes 1.5 cups, so perfect. I'll have some additional just for whatever. Okay. Now we need, let's cross that off so I don't forget. 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. I'm doing a full cup because doubling the recipe. Sorry, I really don't want somebody to accidentally like add the wrong amount. They're like, this turned out like shit. You said these are the best cookies ever. I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. You can get whatever chocolate chips you want. I got the Ghirardelli because they're just better quality chocolate than like the Nestle ones, but the Nestle ones work just fine. And a little extra for good measure. Okay, and the last ingredient are graham crackers. So it says we need a 1/2 cup of graham cracker chunks. So I will be doubling that to a whole cup. And the graham crackers are fun in this because you don't really like taste the, I don't know, I feel like they almost act as like a additional like chewy texture, because like once they get the butter in them and like they bake again, they become very like chewy, and so it's like a fun texture in it. It's not like a crunchy element, like I don't know how to explain it, but it's really delicious, and like maybe it's that honey flavor that is like very nice. And like graham crackers have whole grains and graham flour, so that also adds like a nice distinct like texture to just the normal all-purpose flour. Okay, let's see how much this makes. You're doing chunks. You could do this in the food processor, or you can just beat it again. I don't want to dirty another thing, so I'm just gonna beat it again. I just realized I have a rolling pin I could have been doing this with instead of a fucking pot, and it would have been a lot easier. Okay, I think that's good. You don't want these too like pulverized because you want them to have a bit of like shape, I guess, so it's not just like powder. So I think that's good. So let's measure this out. So yeah, I have some pieces that are like this big. I don't know if you can even see that, but some that are like really pulverized almost into a powder. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, 1 cup. Some of these are really huge. Let me break those up real quick. Don't want them too giant. Okay, so at this point, you can do one of two things. You could use your stand mixer, or you could take it off and just mix it by hand with like a big wooden spoon. Solely on the fact that I am feeling lazy, I'm going to use my stand mixer, but just be really careful not to over mix it. We're just incorporating, I would say, is more the word to use. So let's add these in. Sorry, girl. This is gonna be a lot. I'm gonna do half and half like I did with the other one, just because this is so full. I just didn't want to have to do this twice, you know? So I was like, oh, I'll just do it all in one, but this mixer is, I might need maybe that's something I should have asked for Christmas, is a bigger bowl to add to this thing, okay? Okay, that's all I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna add the rest. It's literally fighting to not come out. Stay in there. Me to my personality when I'm around people I don't know. Don't come out yet. You might scare them away. Be normal. Yep, I saw that coming. Oh, it's too much. Okay, let's not mix it in here. Good news is it's not that much that fell out. Just a few chocolate chips and oats. Again, chronic hand washer. I'm like, at least you know you can eat food at my house, you know? Because I'm not doing any gross shit. Okay, let's clean up our station just a bit. God, there's so much fucking dough. Were you guys like bowl and spoon lickers? That sounded crazy. When you were little, like if your mom or your dad was like cooking or like baking something, were they like, all right, here's the spoon, like when you got done? My mom would do that shit with us. Like she would finish cooking something or we'd finish baking something together with her, and then she would just like hand us it. Just eat it all. And then people are like, don't eat raw dough, it's so bad for you because of the salmonella or whatever. And then you kind of grow up and you're like, oh, it's not even the raw eggs, it's the raw flour that you're not supposed to eat. You're like, oh, cool. Now all that Pillsbury like pre-made like cookie dough and stuff, have you noticed that that's all like edible cookie dough now? Meaning that like, I guess, I don't know what they do with the egg situation. I don't know if they have raw eggs in it. I'm assuming maybe no, just because I feel like people would be weird about it. But with the, I guess what they do is like they just pre-cook the flour that they put in it. Like if you were to make cookie dough at home, that's what you do. You would just like if you wanted to make raw cookie dough that you could eat, you would just do like, you would just like either bake your flour or like microwave it to cook it. Because I guess flour has like bacteria in it or something that you're not supposed to eat. Like, I don't know. All I know is I was licking spoons of raw cake batter, brownie batter, cookie dough, like, and I turned out only slightly fucked up, so. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. God, this is an arm workout. This is what I wanted to avoid, but that's what happens when you make too big of a batch. Shout out to any of y'all who like this whole recipe, you've been doing it by hand, because Jesus Christ. I feel like there's no way you could overmix it if you're doing it by hand, because you'd just be too tired. Also, I haven't been in the gym in months, so I'm very like out of shape / weak right now anyways. I feel like with this, like you can really feel the cornstarch doing its job, like, because it is a thick fucking cookie dough. There is nothing runny or loose about this dough. It is robust. You are going to want to chill this dough just because it will help in the baking process of it not spreading out so much, especially since we have room temperature butter and eggs in it. It's not going to take much to get it to start to spread out. So we will have a brief pause and I will come back after it's chilled. It doesn't have to chill too long. In the recipe, she says to let it chill as you're forming or as your oven is preheating. So you can do that. I also have let it chill overnight And I might do that with this. I haven't decided yet. But if you're making the big cookies, you definitely need to let it chill for like a few hours. Because if not, they are going to be raw in the middle and overcooked as shit on the outside. So just depending on the size of the cookie that you make, I'm gonna let mine chill for much longer than it takes for my oven to preheat. So I'm gonna pre-shape them into balls, and then I'll put them in the freezer to chill for like a few hours, and then I will bake them after. So let's form these bitches into some balls. How about that? Let's get another Christmas fact before that. Do you know what the best-selling Christmas toy of 1980 was? A year that probably none of you were born in. Unless you are, shout out y'all, last year for Gen X. It's the Rubik's Cube, apparently. Did y'all ever have a phase where you were like, oh, I must solve the Rubik's Cube? I never had that phase. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say for size, it says a half cup if you're doing the large cookies. And I wanna do like one in between that. So I feel like this, like it looks giant because it is giant. Like this is a big cookie. The weight of this is 100 grams. So I'm gonna be going for that as my size, which kind of crazy that I made that perfect 100 grams. Call me the goat, I guess. So I'm gonna ball these up and get them God, I'm like fucking like Shaquille O'Neal of the weight of cookies. That was 98. That was like nearly perfect. 102. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't need to get too crazy specific. It doesn't matter how you place them on this because we're freezing them. So this is just a carrier so I can put it in my freezer. 100 perfectly. I can't make this shit up. I just am that girl, really, for real. All right, I'm gonna roll all these out and then I will see you when I'm done. Okay, I'm done with my cookies, rolling them all up and measuring them. Making them 100 grams-ish, 100 to about 104 is kind of the weight of all these. I ended up making 24 exactly. So I basically perfectly doubled the recipe if you were to make the large, big cookies. So now I am going to put some saran wrap around this, put it in the freezer for probably overnight because I have a company Christmas party tonight, and then we will bake them in the morning. So I will see you in the morning, which for you will be no time at all. First sleepover podcast? Okay. See you guys in the morning, and then we'll bake and eat these. Bye. You guys, not only is it the next day, it is the day after that. That's right. I recorded this on a Thursday. It's now Saturday. I'm fully in my pajamas. And it's time to finish these cookies. To be completely transparent, I have been baking them every day since and eating them. I just have not set the camera up to record because I'm a naughty, naughty, naughty elf, and I'm gonna be on the naughty list this year. So let's get some fucking bacon and let's put these damn bitches in the oven because they're so delicious. I ate one for breakfast. I'm not gonna lie, I really did eat one for breakfast. They're so good. But also this speaks to the fact that they can sit in the fridge up to 3 days as you bake them. Let me show you what I did with the extra cookies. So I doubled the batch and I made Whammer Jammer 100 gram cookies a piece. What I do with half of the batch essentially is I will write the date that I made them on here. I think they're good for up to 3 months in the freezer. And then I just do the baking instructions on the bag because I feel like I freeze so much stuff that then I go look and I'm like, what the fuck is that? These, I can tell they're cookies, but like if my roommate or something saw them and was like wanting a sweet treat and was like, fuck, we don't have anything, open the freezer, saw these, now you know. So yeah, I just write baking instructions, 350 for 12 to 14 minutes. Boom, you got a cookie. And I love doing this because then you can just pull one out or two out and you don't have to bake the whole batch because they're so huge. Like, not to say that you can't eat them all at once, but it might be challenging. Like, there's 4 sticks of butter in this recipe if you double it. So like, your stomach's gonna be aching. So yeah, if you're storing them in the fridge, the way that I store them is I like to wrap them in saran wrap. So there's a bit of like an airtight element, and then I put them in a Tupperware. You can put them in a Ziploc bag, it doesn't matter. There's advent calendars sitting on my counter. I'm so sorry. It's just kind of a mess. I did a whole crafting thing last night, and that's like all. I can't tell if you can see it on camera or not, but it's like all over there. So kind of a mess right now, but as is Christmas, as is the holidays, right? Like everything's kind of just like messy, and that's what makes it fun. So you're gonna wanna use like parchment paper or like a slip pad of some sort, just something to keep it from sticking to your pan. I would not use a greased baking pan. I would just go with parchment paper if you have access to that, or even like foil would probably be good, but yeah, you don't spray it. All right. Because you've like refrigerated these cookies, they spread out, but they don't spread out super flat. So like you can definitely bake, if you make these giant, like 5 on a pan. But I don't know if I would do more than that, to be honest, because I mean, they are fucking giant. And put them in the oven. Hey Alexa, set a timer for 13 minutes.
13 minutes, starting now.
Let me know if your Alexa just went off in your house, and you're welcome. Okay, so yeah, that's really it. These are gonna bake for 13 minutes. It's kind of up to your choice and the heat of your oven. If your oven is like runs hotter than usual, maybe set it to 325 and bake it longer, but I don't know, I would start at 350. You can always do a test batch with like 2 cookies and see what that takes, but yeah. Also, if I seem tired, I am. I could not go to sleep last night. I have like severe carpal tunnel in my wrist recently because I've been bedazzling so much stuff. Let me show you this nutcracker I was working on last night. I just need to finish the hat. I did give him teeth though, and I think those are kind of terrifying, but I kind of like it. See his creepy teeth? They look so scary. I've just been doing so much crafting, so it's like, it's not even that I'm like, it's like by choice that I'm up late, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I need to finish him today, but I also need to do a lot of other stuff today. So will this ever get finished? I really hope so, because it's really cute and really fun. But yeah, if you're a former dancer and you like did competitive dance and like stoned your own costumes, you relate to like this, like, it's like this yearning to rhinestone. It's like I rhinestone so much and it was such a pain in the ass, but something about it is also like incredibly therapeutic. And I don't know, so much fun. It's just kind of like mindless, you know? So anyways, let's cut to these cookies being done. How about we do that? I'm really out of it. It's not even early either. Like that's the most tea of it all. It's 11:44, but my alarm went off this morning at like 7. I turned that shit off immediately because, of course, like why would I wake up at 7? It's Saturday. Well, I should have because I have a lot to do today. But my alarm went off. I turned it off, and then I just like, girl, I slept. I have not slept in this late since last weekend. I was gonna be like, I haven't slept this late in months, and I'm like, wait, no, I think last weekend I slept till like 10:30 one of the days. I just stay up so late, and I've just created a really bad habit of staying up super late. So maybe my New Year's resolution will be not to stay up so late. I'm just realizing I didn't finish bedazzling the back of his belt, so I need to do that as well as the hat. Dang it.
my laundry list of items just keeps getting higher and higher and higher.
Also, I'm so sorry if you can. I'm fully in my pajamas. No makeup. I feel like somebody's mom. This is gonna be, I'm like, I probably will never have kids, but if I did have kids, it would be like me with a Celsius because I don't really drink coffee unless it's an afternoon treat. It fucks my stomach. I don't want to talk about it. I drink energy drinks and it's gonna kill me, but whatever, we're all gonna die anyways, right? So I wake up, have my energy drink. That's about it because I don't like smoke or anything. But if I did smoke, I would be vaping a storm up with my like kid listening to like fucking pop music at like 6 a.m. Like,
Get ready for school.
oh God, fantasy life, am I right? I am actually just gonna cut to these being done because I truly have nothing to say. So, wipe it! Clock wipe. Clock wipe. Clock wipe. Clock wipe. They're done. The cookies are big as fuck and they're done. Okay, so at this point, what I would do if I was like giving these as like a gift and not just gonna eat them at home, I would put these cookies, or I would get like a, Jesus Christ, let's talk. How about we talk? Can we just talk? Can we just talk about? So what I would do is I would get some sort of circular device because these are so big. It would have to be like a bowl or something, but like if they were normal size, so what I would do is I would get like a glass and I would put them over the cookie and go in a circle, and then what happens while they're still like warm like this is the cookie's gonna like bounce off the round part and form a perfect fucking circle. God damn, these are so big. Oh, okay, maybe, yes, I can do this bowl. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take like a cup. Mind you, you don't have to do this. This is just like if you were to like give them as a gift. They look very professional this way. You put it over the top and you just kind of make little circles. And what that's going to do is cause your cookie, let me video it with my phone, to be like perfectly spherical or circular. Like, okay, so here's the difference. Look at this one. My God, can I fucking do this normally? Look at like this one for an example versus this one. Okay, so let's do another. So you kind of just like get it under there. Don't cut it like a cookie cutter. You're gonna kind of just like scoop the sides and stuff to like get it all under there. Okay, so now that it's under, you can see what you're gonna do is you're just gonna make like little circles and you'll feel the cookie like bouncing around. Don't do it too aggressively because it might fall apart, but then you can check. Oh my God, see, look, now it's like a perfect circle. It's just a fun little tip. And also, this will like get it unstuck if it's stuck at all, which it won't be because it's on parchment paper, but yeah. Perfect circle. Perfect circle. And last one. Like, see how much more like professional those look when you do this step? It's so silly, but like honestly, it also makes every bite the same, because what happens with cookies, like any baked good, is when you bake it, it's going to grow like stretch because you put that baking soda in there, which causes it to like crawl outwards. So it's not just baking tall like a cake, right? So what happens when you do that is there's going to be points in your cookie where it's like the center is going to be gooier than the outside, which is the best part. You know, it's like I love having like crispy outside, but what's nice about this is it pushes that crispy outside around more of it, because now you're pushing it upwards. So it's like every bite you get like the crispy with the chewy, instead of just like some bites where it's all crispy and some bites where it's all chewy. So I think it makes for a better eating experience, as well as like aesthetically it looks better. So once you do that with all your cookies, if you choose to take that step, you are going to want to get a cooling rack and a spatula. And awesome, all my spatulas are dirty because, mind you, Oh my God, the dishwasher is clean. That is the best thing ever when you're like, oh, I can't find it sturdy. We ran the dishwasher last night because we're adults. Now it's clean. I got a spatula, girl. Perfect. Okay, so now we're just going to, oh wait, I forgot. Last thing actually, before I do this, just because it'll make less of a mess this way. While my cookies are still warm, this is optional, but like I said, we've talked about this. I love salt on my sweet, and these cookies are very sweet. Like, even with all the salt we added to it, using salted butter, adding salt, and then furthermore, making our homemade toffee by putting like additional salt on top. Oh my God, I cannot open this shit. What the fuck? I'm gonna break my nail. I hate this stupid thing. Don't do that. Do not use your teeth as tools. All of that being said, like, there's a decent amount of salt in here. However, they're still so effing sweet. So I like to just add a little bit of like coarse sea salt to finish it. Totally don't have to do this. This is very much optional. And the reason I'm doing it into a bowl and then putting it on is just so I have a bit more control over it and it doesn't get over salted. So yeah, any sort of finishing salt, you want to go from a high point because then it's not going to be concentrated on one spot. When it drops, it'll go out more. So yeah, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over it. And you definitely want to do this while they're still a bit warm because if not, the salt won't really stick to it at all. It'll kind of just like bounce off the moment you pick your cookie up. Okay, cool. Now we can put the cookies onto the cooling rack. I'm telling you guys, these are going to be such a hit. Wherever you take them, they're so freaking good. Everybody who I've ever made these for loves them. Even people who like claim they don't like oatmeal cookies, like it's probably just because they associate it with oatmeal raisin, and for some reason people don't like raisins, but like oatmeal raisin is the superior cookie, so I don't get it, but that's just me. But okay, here's our finished product. These crazy cinnamon oatmeal toffee, white chocolate chip, graham cracker, fucking extravaganza. Look how insane these look. Also, your house is just gonna smell so good because like, oh, they just smell so delicious. All right, y'all, if you baked along with me, I hope that you're now about to enjoy these delicious cookies. I literally ate one for breakfast, so I'm not going to eat another one right now because I think my stomach would go into overdrive having nothing but a cookie and a Celsius in it so far. Also, I did drink a whole cup of milk with it because they're so good to dip in milk. But anyways, let me know if you baked along, if you try it, what you thought, and if you gave it to people what they thought as well. I hope you guys have a lovely holiday season. I hope everybody has safe travels if you're driving somewhere, if you're flying somewhere, whatever it may be. And yeah, enjoy it, spend time with your family, do fun stuff, do some like ugly crafts like me, make some cookies, have some fun, and be safe. Love you so, so, so much. If you're not, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Post a podcast style video every single week called The Girls Club. I have a lot of fun on here. As you can see, it's not always super traditional podcast format, but I try to keep it fun, lighthearted, and a good time. So if you're new here, thank you for finding my channel. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in next week's club meeting. Love you. Bye.